Matt is a principal and owner of Sabatino Construction Group out of Florida, and he's using Estimator in a really innovative way that most of us wouldn't think to use it. So Matt, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Like she said, I'm the owner of Sabatino Construction Group. We pursue residential and say a little bit of smaller commercial buildings, new construction, and I've been in business for like 10 years, working mostly commercial before this.
Okay, and Matt, I know you've gotten up and running on Estimator really quickly. Where did you first learn to use it? Was it at Sabatino?
No, I worked at BRPH companies, the design build firm in Melbourne, Florida, and I was head of the estimating department. And basically, we worked on a lot of very large scale projects, including master plans for companies like JetBlue and Boeing, where there'd be multiple buildings on a large campus. And starting with design build, you get the architect and a hand sketch, a bunch of buildings on a big lot. So I had to price all those out pretty often in the very beginning for the conceptual. And I kind of learned about DESTINI Estimator through some research, trying to watch some webinars on it, and it basically was what I was looking for with compared to what I was using. And so I presented it to my company, and they bought into it. And after that, basically started using it.
Excellent. So it sounded like it was a pretty quick process for you to sell it to your company and then just dive in.
Yep.
Okay, and then I guess originally, how were you taught to create conceptual estimates? Because I know you said it wasn't your original way of doing things.
Right. So before DESTINI, I was doing quantity takeoffs and on-screen or Bluebeam, and I was trying to be innovative with it. So I would export them to Excel, but you can export to Excel, format, and then import it into your estimating software, which I use MC Squared, similar to like Timberline and those other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing takeoffs, exporting to Excel, formatting everything, importing to the estimating software, then inputting your pricing. It just seemed very time-consuming for something that everything should be there. I was trying to find a way. I was like, why can't all three of these be combined into one?
Yeah. So that was your main concern, just trying to link it all together?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, time-consuming. There's a lot of there's errors because when you're formatting large Excel spreadsheets, it's really easy to make errors, and then lose data, and it's just a lot of time and money spent for something that shouldn't have to be.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge risk factor to rely on what could be a broken formula.
Yeah, and then you're searching through all the formulas to make sure everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this looks like a pretty traditional workflow. Could you talk to what challenges you specifically encountered in this workflow, or if there was maybe one that stood out more than the others?
Yeah, I'd say for this one, the most difficulties were the lack of detail. Working with conceptual estimates with the hand sketch basically a hand sketch on a napkin from an architect. You don't have any details. You got to make a lot of assumptions on scope and even materials. So you can use past projects, try to look back. So that's a lot of time in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And another big one is just the quick turnaround on these type of things, on these conceptuals in the beginning. They want them in like a day or two. So to create an entire estimate that quick and still be accurate is really difficult. And then another big one is basically every time you're working with the owner in the very beginning stages of design, there's a building and then it changes or gets bigger or smaller. And that causes a ton. Basically every time there's a change, that single amount of work that you did in the beginning, you have to redo the whole entire thing. Make sure that you got all the line items updated and all your quantities updated and changed to meet the new design.
Mm-hmm. So, in your opinion, how can Estimator improve this workflow?
So, how I use it: set up the estimate, do the takeoffs just like you would in an on-screen or blue beam, but you only need to do them one time. Once you set them up and you link them to all the takeoffs are attached or linked to the line item in the estimate. So when they make changes like that, you can update it within an hour or two. You just pull your takeoffs out, make the building bigger, everything updates. All of your data is all in one place. The quantity, the takeoffs, the quantities, prices. You don't have to look through multiple line items, like pages and pages of line items, checking, should that change, everything's there, everything's synced. So that was a really good improvement when I started using these.
Yeah, definitely a time saver, it sounds like.
Yeah, for sure.
So this looks like kind of just a first step in Estimator and how you would start an estimate. Could you talk to how you were trained and how you got up and running?
Yeah. So I went to Dallas, Texas, to the Beck Tech offices. Got a really nice tour, and it was a 2.5 day training, one-on-one, because I think normally there's more people, but I got lucky. I was a single person there that week, so it was a one-on-one training about kind of how to use the software. I had the software for like a couple days before that, so I messed around with it, but I really couldn't figure it out too much on my own, a little bit. But within those 2 days, I was good to go. I was definitely felt like a pro after 2 days. Yeah.
Did you find it intuitive just because of how you were doing it before, or would you say it's easy to use in general? Would you say if you're using Excel, you would pick it up quickly?
Right. Yeah. So it's very similar to any other estimating platform.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using Excel, if you're using MC squared, Timberline, any of those, the estimate spreadsheet, the estimate screen is just like a spreadsheet. You can use formulas, and the takeoff section of it is really easy to work with. So yeah, the transition, since I had worked in other programs so much.
Mm-hmm.
It made it pretty easy for me, I think. Probably why.
Sounds like it.
Uh,
And what were some important and unique features within Estimator that allowed you to be innovative when starting with conceptual estimates?
So the part that I liked a lot was I can take a hand sketch that's scaled at least, bring it into Estimator as a model. It's a 2D model, but you got kind of like on the screen there. And then I can bring it in, scale it, do digitize takeoff, and these takeoffs, they basically have 3D elements. Two of them, you can do the wall height on the perimeter walls, everything like that. So you take this hand sketch and you basically create a 3D estimate from it, which makes it super intuitive and easy to update. So if there's any changes, you can just move these takeoffs around and everything's updated.
Mm-hmm. It's all linked together.
Yep.
So this slide is a really innovative way of doing conceptual estimating, but I think to the audience, they might not see it at first glance. Can you talk through in detail how this is innovative and how you started with it?
Yeah. On the left idea, on the left, conceptual variable applied to line item, that I would use so that's for site area. A lot of conceptual drawings, they don't have site area, they just show the building. So that's where you would use that, and you can add this estimate data in there. You can do, like you see, building area, site, footprint. And this site area can be linked to line items such as rough grading, clearing, grubbing. You can do import fill, and all of those items. And then on the right, that's where you would use and you trace the drawing and link all. You can link slab. So that's the footprint of the building traced on the right side. Link slab on grade, roofing if it's a flat roof, ceiling, etc. There's unlimited things that you can link to it that are based on the footprint. So that's just an example.
And
Go ahead.
oh, I was just going to talk to how you would know when to use variables and linking. I know you mentioned a lot about that. So how would an estimator know when to do that?
Yeah. So for me, as much as possible, if you can, anything that you can think of that you can link to something else would help. I mean, I even do for conceptual, I would link electrical to the square footage because you don't really know too much. I guess the only things you can't link would be maybe like elevators, but you could even do those. Yeah, that's more of a 1-story, 2-story question. But almost everything you can link everything if you set it up correct.
So do you apply this technique to all line items?
I will, and if it's a super parametric conceptual estimate, yeah, definitely. I will probably using the summary data and the takeoff, the digitized takeoff. I'll have everything linked so that when there's a change, you're changing a couple things in the entire every single line item. The estimate will update based on size of the building, height of the building, whatever items put in there.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say is the approximate time that this saves you based on compared with a typical method?
So, say for initial estimate, about like 3 times faster, 3 to 1, based on because you don't do takeoffs for every single thing. You just have to do takeoffs for like the slab there. You can link that footprint to multiple items, so that saves you time right there. And then when there's changes, that's the big deal right there. When there's any changes, I'd say a good 8 to 1 estimate because that's an 8 hour conceptual. It's an 8 hour estimate. And you can update it within Destiny in an hour if you have it set up correctly.
Mm-hmm. That's quite a lot of time.
Yeah, it's really good thing.
So it looks like you're further illustrating just the power of variables on this slide. Can you discuss the information behind it and talk to distinguishing between project summary and estimate windows?
Yeah. So the summary on the right there is basically going to go fill in general building data, and then once you do that, you can fill in the right data and the right items. I try to do footprint, gross square footage, wall area, like exterior wall area, site area, and then based on those, you can probably take the estimate view, bring in all your line items, and link everything to those summary data items. And so you only have five summary data items to update anytime there's a change, and there goes the whole entire estimate updated. Like you can see in this one, 9,300 square feet is linked to rough grading, framing grading. Say the site gets bigger, you just change this one number, and these two change. So you can have multiple unlimited amount of items change from that one right there.
Gotcha. So it's just live feeding into it since it is linked.
Yep. Every time it's real time. When you change that, you can watch these change same time. So my favorite part.
So Matt, you've emphasized that project time savings is one of the most significant benefits of using Estimator in this new technique. Are there any other significant benefits from this new way of doing things that you would want to talk to?
Yeah. So basically, time savings, number one. Reduction in repetitiveness. That's a huge one. It's just I don't like doing takeoff on the same drawings 5 times when you already did it, and the building changed just slightly. So you basically have to do the entire takeoff again to make sure. Automated cost update. When you change one thing, everything update. Owner interaction. I've been in meetings with owners, and I just bring my computer, estimator, have the live estimate up, and you can give them answers real time right there. They ask something, you change the estimate data, 2 items, 3, however many you have. There won't be more than 5 or 10. and you got an answer for them right there on an updated cost for a different size building. And then the templates are good, conceptual estimating templates. So whenever I do say office building, just save that. Then when you get a new office building to estimate, you bring that in, basically finish. You update a couple items in there, and the whole estimate's ready to go for the conceptual.
Okay, Matt. Well, thank you for sharing that and answering some questions that hopefully will help some of our other users out there. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and open up the questions. We do have a few coming in, but please feel free to send as many and we'll get to them. Matt, I know at the beginning you talked to kind of just how you went off and researched Estimator, but then you did have to sell it to your company. Could you speak to what that looked like, and did you provide kind of an ROI to them, or how did they buy in so quickly?
Yeah, kind of what I did was I brought it in the office of the VP, had a meeting with them, and just what I like to do is just show people what it does. Show them, send them a webinar that you guys have. And then yeah, I definitely mentioned the ROI because we were basically gonna hire a couple more estimators, and I was like, we can hire a couple more people, or we can just get the software, and then we can take care of everything. That we use the technology instead of the manpower. That was my selling point. Said more, we can hire people, or we can just get the software. And I would rather just work less.
That seems like it would
people.
save the company money.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it would have cost a lot more to hire a few estimators than to get the software. It wasn't that hard to sell, really.
Yeah, they saw the value whenever you kind of explained it to them.
Yeah, because I know our IT department had been looking into it for a while because they were always upset having to install 3 different softwares for me to do an estimate. They were like, why can't you just have one? So they were kind of happy about that too, and they were behind me on that.
Yeah. And then I know you sold it to your VP, so were you kind of the only one using it at BRPH?
Yeah, in the beginning, I was the person that started out. So I had a couple other people that I trained to do it after me. I showed them, and they were quick to catch on. They did and everything.
That's great. Well, it looks like that might be all the questions we have for today. I do want to thank you, Matt, for just being open and sharing with us, and want to thank everyone for attending. I did record this webinar, so I will be sending it out hopefully later today, if not tomorrow morning. And we will look forward to seeing you all at our July webinar. Thank you, Matt.
Cool. Thank you.